99. I don't know where it's getting some of this stuff, but some of it's a little accurate, you know. Yeah, I still use I take all the spaces out and don't use special characters. Is that 1999? Is that what it's talking about? Because I do that. Like I'm obsessive about that.
So everyone knows
So-
that Grok is on AI.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Grok's AI, it's on X. There's lots of different ones that I'll introduce before, but I play around with them all to see kind of which ones do. I don't know. I'm not diverse enough in asking any of them anything difficult, so it's just whatever you seem to land on with where it's convenient for you, right? A lot of them have apps. Yeah, you're probably one in the conference room that's interested in the free coffee rather than actual presentations. So I don't think we have anybody here, but yeah, I bet your idea of a wild night staying up to watch Joe Rogan shoot something with a compound bow. Yeah, I have a compound bow in my house, so I don't know where it knows that information, right? It's weird. It's really scary. And Peacock hat comment, I don't know where it knows that, but on the bottom of my backpack, I have a peacock sticker. And that was one that we were testing. We were testing it here. So I don't know, man. This hooked into an intelligence that's far beyond, the bits and the bytes, right? Sometimes you think, and if you start talking to it, sometimes you will definitely shudder sometimes if you start, why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why did you say that? That's some loops I've been on, and it's pretty fun. You should try it. Clearly, you're not one for fashion statements unless it's a Revit t-shirt. I don't have any of that. I do have one of those because I have one from AU. So yeah, it doesn't have no pictures of that, but Christian got it for me actually. So appreciate it, Christian. Good friend. But at least, the least you're concerned is your social media game. Yeah, not very good at all. Don't really post much at all. And is organized as love making Legos versions of architectural nightmares. Don't know. Like I clicked on one of these links and it just defined like architectural nightmares, but anyway, weird. Try it. Try an AI roast you or do something. So
Oh, these are links.
well, when I was on Grok and I've heard about it being very more, it's loose, right? It's a little more has some humor.
Fluid.
Yeah.
Fluid.
So that's why I clicked the button and said, okay, I'll throw it on there. Why not? Let's start with that. Yeah, and then thanks for that and for sponsoring and keeping up with this all these years and your passion. So really wanted to known Dat for many, many, many years, and I appreciate his passion to the trade. So
Good to have you guys back.
yep, yeah, it's exciting. So I just want to poll the room and what do you know about AI and maybe how you've used it? We've heard some about some other technologies that are out there. If you've tinkered on it, if you could share a story right now, that would be great. I just asked it to write a class for me. I didn't use any of this, but just wanted to show you how it could just generate something on the fly, and maybe we're all used to that.
Yeah.
Everybody familiar with something like that? Asking it to generate something for you and going a fairly in tune
Yeah,
audience here.
so-
Cool.
Caveat, giant nerd, play Dungeons and Dragons. That's my favorite pastime. I have absolutely used it to be like, hey, what should these characters do? Because I really want to fuck with the people playing. And like, hey, how can I really mess with this person? And you see it a lot for art, a lot.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm someone creating an entire world and I'm like, hey, here's 6 different characters you just met. I don't have hours to go hunt down. So just give me this, give me that, and pop some art in there.
Yeah, generated your character.
I've done it, yeah.
Yeah. So
I've talked back and forth with it to figure out, hey, what's a really counterintuitive position for a
yeah. So like the top uses probably in the next year are going to be memes and
Dungeons and Dragons.
games.
and game?
Right?
Yeah.
The games are going to just get incredibly, which they're already bad, right? They're taking up all your time, right? How do we make it productive, right? How do we get $1 out of it versus paying $1 in, right?
Have you guys seen AI Studio?
No, what's that?
AI Studio is from Google.
Hmm.
And I was just playing with it the other day. Basically, it runs in the background. You share your screen with AI Studio, and then you can ask it, hey, how do I draw a wall? How do I draw a door? And I was asking it some crazy things like,
Nice.
how do I export a schedule from? I had Excel open, and I said, how can I get a schedule from Revit into here? And they're like, well, okay, open up Revit, and then it tells you exactly what to do. So
Yeah. To give you DI roots.
for training purposes, it's game changer. It's
Oh, okay.
crazy. Yeah, and I was surprised that it
Yeah.
recognized what Revit was.
That's where I thought it would come into professionally too, is your help sessions. They can dump all their help notes in,
Yeah.
teach it a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
and then it could be very, very valuable. I know Avail's doing that. I don't know who else is doing that. I would expect Autodesk to beat Avail, but they didn't. But you think your help catalog would be the first thing you could dump in and make AI super valuable, right?
Tons of stuff.
All your training videos that Autodesk has. What are you waiting for, right?
Well,
So
they're trying to figure out how to.
yeah, how to monetize it. There you go. There you go. We're already on subscription. It's monetized.
Yeah.
Right. And now we have to go to tokens now. That's what Cody was telling me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you may have to go to tokens. And I was like, holy shit.
They're just waiting for someone to start
Yeah.
charging for AI and
Yeah.
start charging for it.
Just go ahead and tell me how much more every year. We can get ready for that and just, but no, so now I'm going to tell you that little secret. So anyway, we'll get into license management later. But yeah, there's different models. There's Llama. There's large language models. And if you didn't catch the CES presentation from the CEO of NVIDIA, I would highly recommend you going back and watching the clips of that. It's a long presentation, but it definitely gets into different models that they're producing and getting ready. One is the physics model. So the physics model will interface with the language model and then tell things how they would move and portray. So I push this mouse to the edge, how far till it falls off, and then when it falls off, what is it going to do, right? So there's physics involved in that are very static rules, very easy rules for a intelligence to figure out. And those are some exciting combinations that are going to be come on in the next year. I hear a lot about agents, AI agents. How do you program them? What do you do with them? And I think that's what we're all trying to get our anybody messing with AI agents doing? Is anybody doing anything more than just dabbling here and there like me? I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, we're all about the same. I think we're all on the same point. So I think that's
good.
good.
Seems-
I don't feel so bad.
Second language learners who use it, like, can you make this
Yeah.
sound right?
Translations, man, just think about that. That's gonna be huge. The little one you can wear on your shirt that just translates whatever somebody's telling you. Man.
The rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit. Yeah, I can see that taking off.
I have
Right.
a friend who has it. And he's like, it's.
Yeah, I can see it being advertised better than it works great on a high bandwidth system, but when it has to send it across.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as the models get condensed and more specific, I think it should be really good. So cool. Anybody else? Good? Okay. So yeah, how do you learn it? What resources do you use, right? So I listen, Matt Wolf's on my feed and he just goes over everything, right? He edits videos for YouTube. He goes to all the conferences, very easy guy to listen to. So you want a guy to plug into your feed, super good, high level, like super high level, covering all of what's in the AI field, has a great website for resources. If you want a resource to drop something in and translate text to speech or vice versa, you have meeting minutes and audio, you want to convert them. He's got all the apps logged, easy to find, metadata. He's got a great resource. So great to listen to if you want to plug into him. Julie McCoy is another one I watch. She's way off into the bot realm. She actually has, her videos are created by her AI agent, and she tells you, and it looks just like her. It talks just like her. She says it's not her. It dresses however she wants. Like she has kind of a leather outfit she wears. She wears a Dr. McCoy, a Star Trek outfit sometimes. And she goes, this is Dr. McCoy. I'm Julia's AI agent. Just watch it for that because it's pretty cool, right? Some of it, she introduces a video where ChatGPT or some of the guys are talking about some revelation that's coming on. And it seems like it is almost weekly that certain things are developing and changing and happening each time, right? So
It's crazy.
and then on the Revit side, I needed to throw that in. Eric Fritz, this is where I want to be, right? Eric teaches you how to write your own tools inside of Revit with PyRevit. Would really love the time after I get registered and take all my classes to dive into that full force and use AI to help me write my Python. I write a little Python. I started doing it with the kids before they got into engineering and stuff. So I dabbled in it here and there. So it's a very easy language to learn. And with ChatGPT or something helping you, you should be able to jump those hurdles and write something that will do something very simple for you and work your way up, right?
So who made this cheat sheet?
This is one, I actually have several of these in the back of the presentation. So I find these on LinkedIn all the time and I grab them and download them, put them in our resources because this is probably 6 months old and it's probably old. Like there's some things on here and half the things maybe aren't old or it changed, right? But there is one for this one for AEC. I've got one more simple because we try to get our our HR department kind of like when they have time to dabble in it, we write blog posts. We write here all the time for our website and different things. It's just a skill to develop and having this at your side to help refine your words and read through it and go, yeah, that's how I wanted to say that, right? And you'll see that a little bit maybe when I do the next one on coding, you'll see.
So if you guys want the cheat sheet, just email us.
Yeah, I can send you the presentation for sure. We can post that, or I can PDF these sheets and resend them out. So, but yeah, I find these on LinkedIn. I just like, what do I want to dabble in this Saturday evening, right? Just like dive into some things opposed to changing diapers or doing doing some of your other stuff. So yeah, it's
your honey donuts.
yeah, it changes. It didn't get that much. It didn't get easier. It just changes.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah, then you're just wondering, what are they doing now? What are they doing now?
You finally figured out how to handle that one
Yeah.
thing. They've
Yeah.
changed.
Anyway,
And figure it out
Those of you
again.
that kids and don't. Catherine's got 3. I've got 2 older ones. Christian, you have 2, right?
Yeah.
And Dat, you have 2. Yeah, so
2.5.
2.5.
What 3? Carl's got.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Blended.
anyway, yeah.
Blended family.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Very good. It's just half the age of mine.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff out there. Tinker, play, get your feet wet. Hopefully that's what this class is doing. That was kind of my goal. So time for action. Let's do something, right? So I know Autolisp. I programmed Autolisp from college. Got into a firm. There were 2 guys that also programmed Autolisp and AutoCAD. So Autolisp is the programming language to write scripts for AutoCAD. So it's easy. AutoCAD annoys the shit out of me. And sorry, I'm going to pre-apologize. If there's any civil engineers in office, I will offend you. So civil engineers are notorious for sending me very, very bad CAD files. So the reason I have bad CAD in my how-to template on my Revit template is because it's just they don't care about giving you anything good because they don't have to mess with it. It's kind of like a designer coming in if you're in architecture and then a seagulling, as a Christian likes to call it, and pooping all over your stuff and then leaving, right? Just has no regard for the work and the time that it takes afterward, right?
Are there any civil engineers?
Yeah. Well, it's just anytime you do stuff for people, think about the downstream, right? We were in a BIM revolution in a sense where we all work together. If your model sucks and it crashes mine, that's not good. That's not good marketing for you. I don't want to use you again because your model is constantly like full of artifacts. AutoCAD's full of artifacts. If they're templates from 2015, terrible template, right? And you get them more than you think, right? AutoCAD and our computers have gotten better. They can handle some of it, but back in the day,
You just link it in.
it couldn't handle
The
it.
origin.
No, but
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
got that civil engineer who's like, oh, my origin is.
That's the
miles that way.
minor or is origin. It's all the extras and links and different types of things. And anyway, so yeah, to come back down a little bit, we'll write. I wrote a script to help me manage some of that. So that was the impetus. I was like, wonder if this AI can write that script for me. I can read Autolisp. It's not too hard. And I was pleasantly surprised with the results. So that's kind of what we'll get into. So let me jump out of the presentation real quick. We'll see if we can do it live. So if I can't, we'll be ending real quick.
Let's do it live.
You know those work at AU, right? Have you been in AU presentations when they try to do it live? We'll see. Do I even have AutoCAD open anymore? I think I closed it. It's annoying to even look at sometimes.
Can't even spell it. You're so mad at it.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's a little laptop keyboard.
Yeah,
You just read.
I was going up and down the elevator. I didn't get time to like load everything up.
You didn't rename AutoCAD to not Revit?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, need to get that script. But can the AI can write that script for us? My IT guy would love that. So as we wait for AutoCAD to open, hey, if you don't like waiting for AutoCAD to open, which most people don't, you can actually open like drawings hosted on the cloud in the Autodesk. I'm not gonna show you, but yeah, in the construction cloud. If you drop them in the construction cloud, it'll just open them. You can look at them like a viewer. Remember, if you know before that we had to load the Autodesk viewer, and it was a little bit faster than this, but not too much. But anyway, I guess most people open AutoCAD and don't just have it open every day. Kind of like opening those big Revit models that just don't want to open and take forever. So, hey, let's all celebrate PyRevit getting up to 2025.
Woohoo.
That
Yeah,
was a big thing.
big thing.
We've got the one right before that does kind of sort of work, but while we're waiting on AutoCAD, we'll celebrate PyRevit. Appreciate that.
Thank you for keeping it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, if you didn't know that, she said thank you for keeping it free, as opposed to
Yeah.
DI Roots, who flipped it all around on us, and that's fine. I'll buy ID8. You know, if I gotta buy something, I'll buy something with a little more juice in the tank. Yeah, been around forever. If you don't know, we can do at Revit add-ons and another one, Dad, if you want. We can all share Revit add-ons, why we like them and what's cool about them.
Yeah.
So sorry, yeah, this is, I wish I could do Revit presentation on this, but this is what I got, so. So what we're gonna do is have AI write some stuff for us. You can use whatever flavor you want. The first time I did this, I used Copilot. Everybody who doesn't know Copilot, we'll say it that way. Everybody okay with Copilot?
That's the one on Microsoft.
Yeah, it's easy, right?
It's the one you get for free.
Yeah, it's right there in your fingertips, so easy. Like, how can ChatGPT compete with that, right? As far as exposure, right? They just threw it right in the browser. Yeah, I wish it would do a lot more than it would. Can you read my screen and tell me something? Nope, right? One thing I did find it was pretty cool is like, can you make an Excel file of this? And I dropped some stuff into it, and it just gave me an Excel file back. So it was great. It was, yeah, it was just some stuff I copied off the internet, and I said, give me an Excel file, and it organized it and put it together. Great time saver. I used to do pay apps. Anybody does pay apps with this? I have pay apps with my building and my landscape and some other stuff, right? And I just would screen capture the data of the numbers, throw it in there and say, give this back to me in a list. Give me a list. I could paste that in Excel. I could make those numbers add up. How much percentage of the total cost is my building cost this month versus overall, right? A lot faster than me typing in all those desks. I don't have an expanded keyboard, right? So a lot faster. So some very menial tasks you'd throw at it would be great.
Have you had to create a PDF for you?
No. What did you use?
You do that? Well, I use.
I can't think of what it would do other
I
than,
use ChatGPT, but like
Yeah.
if you say, hey, make me an agenda for a meeting or something like
oh, and give you a PDF format?
PDF.
Oh, okay. Usually I just paste it into something because I have a meeting program.
But if you
But-
don't have like a paid PDF writer or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was
Get-
surprising.
Get Bluebeam. I mean, is it that expensive? So, yeah, I'm really still surprised how many people don't have Bluebeam now. The way it reads documents and, if you haven't convinced your ownership to get that, I mean, first tier. All right, so here we go. Well, what did I do here? Is that my class? Yeah, that's the class. Okay. Yeah, that's my outline. Didn't use it. A lot more free form. So yeah, don't let it restrict you in your creativity for sure. So yeah, let's just say write. I wish I would wrote these prompts down. And auto Lisp. Yeah, if that's what you learn is auto Lisp is the programming language to do some AutoCAD. Great, you can look it up, whatever program it is. Revit's not as easy. I mean, that can, I assume because not I don't see many videos on it. I haven't found it, right? That's why I was assuming that PyRevit maybe put us a button in where if I write into this text file and hit go, it will load that in. So where I see this going is what I want to do today is what I will write my script for. If I got to change a bunch of text or I got to find and replace or I got to do something, draw a bunch of circles or something, that eventually it will be in tune enough that it will write a script that will do that for you, right? That will fix or just the little things you need to do today, right? And you can customize it. And then once you have the script, right, then you learn how to tweak the little things, right? It's like semi-coding, right? Where you can read the code enough to know, oh, that's the point. Let me change the point from 0 to 1, or I want 1 foot instead of 2 foot offset, whatever that is. And that's how I used to code Autolist back in the day, because it took quite a bit of time anytime you get into programming to do this stuff. So I have maybe a solution later on in the presentation. We'll see if we can get there.
No, this is a huge head start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. To get some of the formatting down. Write a list routine to draw 3 circles. Let's say concentric circles. I don't think you even have to type very good anymore because it'll probably figure it out. %20 smaller. All right, let's see what it gets. Yep. All right, so it gives you some code, right? Not a big deal. It should be pretty small, right? And a lot of times you can read this, you know.
It tells you how to use it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, if you haven't used it before, I wish I could make this big screen, but basically it writes the command for you. If you know a little bit about you can probably ask it about each one. What is defund? What does this mean? I've asked the code in other iterations this, change this, do this. Why is this not working? Oh, it's probably because of this. Let me change this for you, right? It has a conversation with you about that particular piece of code, and you don't have to re-input it. You just keep going with the conversation, which is like, is one of the things that was mind-blowing to me, right? You can say, no, I want squares, not circles. Okay, let me change it. I may do that in a second. So let me get this one to work first. We'll load this one in. So basically copy this piece of text. Copy button, thank you. And then we'll put it into our notepad. You can use regular notepad. I use Notepad++. It just like color codes code for you. So it's pretty nice. I should have one testing here. I used to have a code back in my old Autolist stuff that would just reload this. You just type LO and it would reload the code again, right? I'm trying to get it back, and I tried to get it earlier today, but I couldn't, but you could probably do that. And that way, every time you change it and load it, you can just reload it. LO, it just reloads the file. You keep it in one place on your desktop or somewhere. It didn't like desktop because I had too many dashes and space. Again, the 1999, I like to name my files like 1999. Encoding that makes a lot of difference, right? So C drive, my Lisp routine.lsp probably is great, probably simple enough. So anyway, we'll paste the code in here. Pretty easy. Again, this is a Lisp file. You just need to know what file you are and where you're saving it. I have this here on my desktop. Notepad++, if you haven't used it, just gives you multiple tabs. It's mainly for coders. And obviously the color is nice. If you're reading code, it's just a lot more palatable. And then it'll open to that particular piece if you need to open it. Just little tools that are just quite a bit better than Notepad. So, but super easy. Text editor, free, absolutely free. You can donate $1 if you feel like you want.
That's gotten a little bit better too.
Have you? I'm always gone to this because it's free. And
it's like tabs now.
yes, it does. That is much better. So anyway, we'll save this work. We'll see if we can draw some circles.
So is that you can just copy and paste this code right into AutoCAD?
Yeah. So
without saving it to a Lisp file.
I don't like YouTubes that do this a lot, but leading you on. But in the end, if you want this, I can give it to you. But I wrote one that basically exploded my civil file until there's no more explosions, right? And then, but don't break the text, right? And that's what this one does, is BEB. If you look at it up here, it's BEB Lisp. But it's basically block, bind, explode. It binds the XREFs, then it explodes it all until there are no more, right? And it knows to write the sequencing to go through until you get none, right? It knows how to loop, right? Much easier than I could loop or spend time doing it. I just don't do that on my day job, right? But I know how, a little bit how it works. But that's what this was my first foray in getting civil files and like, I need to explode these and bind these because that's going to take me at least 20 minutes every time I get one, which is every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm tired of dealing with it, right? So I've got add-ons to do this later, but that weren't quite working, but that was and it works great. It explodes it, breaks it all down, doesn't break the text, doesn't break polylines. It just explodes XREFs. It makes a group of them and then it just churns through, checks it again, does a good job. That was the end result. So I gave you the end result of all this going through, but this is how you start. Draw some circles, right? All right, so we got this saved. Just make sure I hit save again, file. All right, it got saved because it's not giving me a logo. Cool. So let's go to AutoCAD. Here's my AutoCAD. Let's draw some circles. First thing you need is AppLoad. Load loads shape files for text, so you may make that mistake, but just make sure you get to AppLoad. Very easy to look it up. It's in the help file. ChatGPT or your chat can probably tell you how to do it, and it probably did on the instructions.
It gave you the code and
It tells you exactly how to put it in. So if you forget the commands, super easy. So we will go to this file. I think I put it on my C drive. I should have, and we'll check the save date. So sorry, it's under C. Oh no, I should put it on my desktop again. Because yep, so you see it load, should say yep. You may be familiar with this add-on reference. This is how many times do you want to load this particular add-on? Every time you open AutoCAD or not? It's the same thing in Revit. They transferred it over. There you go. I'm just going to load once because temporary class. And we should be good. Loaded successfully right down here. Pretty simple, guys? Yep. Think so? Now so you know, well, I forgot what it named the command, so I need to go back and find it. So sorry. Right here under defun is the command. You could change this to like one letter as long as it doesn't interrupt any of your other ones. Yeah, even if it did, it'd probably override it, and this would be the new C command if that's what you wanted. So every time you hit C to draw a circle, is it copy now or circle? I forget. I always liked it as circle, and I always changed it. Every time I got into a company, I would bring my list routines in and change it. Yeah, okay. So it's bad. Anyway, this is my command. I'm just going to copy it and paste it in AutoCAD. Oops. And get out of here. There you go. And you hit a point and it should draw some circles. Oh, how big you want the circle? Let's do 100. I don't know what the units are here. There you go. Wow. Really nice, right? If you go through and know your AutoCAD commands, you can actually probably ask it to do this, then do this, right? You're doing three things.
Draw me a 3-story house.
Exactly. That's where you get to. Okay. I'm not going to take you guys through that. We kind of start later and go through and this did work first time. So thank you. Thank you. What I tried to do next, I did squares in my original trial of this earlier this week. And I said, draw a star in the square at the end. Didn't do so well. Right? Yeah, some weird zigzags and whatever. And then I looked up a old blog post from 1990 about how to draw a star, and it drew a pentagon, right, and drew the lines in between. It's geometrically very easy. And I said, based on this website, draw a star in the center, and it still couldn't do it, right? So there's that. It's intelligent, still not that. We can do it very easily, right? So if you have any hope for your job for a few more years, there's this, there's that.
6 months.
Yeah. So, and it'll take some time to deployment. Obviously, we talked about the old gray hair people that tell us we can and can't do certain things up in our firms, right? So there are those people that will stop AI for several more years, right? So, until somebody starts beating their ass, right? And then, oh yeah, marketing said that they found this new thing called VR and you need to start doing it. And then what they kind of told us, so, yeah, we're already doing it. We told you about it last year. Okay, so marketing told y'all, right? Okay.
So Craig,
Sorry.
yeah,
It's just, that's how the world works.
Craig and Christian at one of the user group meetings presented a whole thing on VR. And but they were going against the grain because management wouldn't let them do it. So they had to go and buy one and use it for a presentation and then go return it. And then
Right, yeah.
it's just in order to get around the whole management deal.
Yeah. Well, there's
We
a will, there's a
actually
way. It was
We
fun.
actually have five,
Yeah.
we have five
Yeah.
headsets now.
And we had one principal that was like, that got into it, right? And then he put it on a city manager at a presentation in front of like the whole committee, right? And I was like, how did you do that? Because the VR that's a nerd helmet, right? Nobody in a public meeting,
Let's put
those
that on.
those egos will not put that on. But for some reason he talked him into it. These guys were gelling, and that's a relationship, right? That's where it comes down to. And everybody else is, a little more timid to push that relationship or to do that. You got to sell the value. What's the value of you putting this on and showing everybody that this is a great design and that you can get into it and experience it at another level? So,
And currently, we mostly use it for QA, QC.
oh, you do? Okay, because you were working on that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that came
So-
through. It's a great for punch list. Just
It's,
putting your model in, opening it up, right? And what software are y'all using for
I
that?
mean, one project,
There's your
I wanna say
presentation. Thanks for volunteering, Christian.
We saved at least 5 million. So
What's that?
we saved at least 5 million on one project just from stuff that was found during QA, QC.
Yeah.
It was just all back of house stuff that, is not the glamorous space for the project.
Yeah.
So,
When we first tried it, Levi found a door that was hitting an exit sign. Right, the exit sign was in the wrong place or whatever, and you couldn't swing the door open. He saw it. It's like, yeah, you can't do that, right? So
and
doors got to shrink, the sign's got to move something, right?
Yeah.
If that come up in construction, it'd be a change order, right? Okay, you drew it there, now I got to move it.
I would say they would have found it in construction, but they probably would
Mm,
have cost
After the guy put it in, and
yeah, it would have cost them something.
yeah, the first time they try to operate the door, and then you got the door guy and the other guy. Anyway.
And
so-
you just have to keep trying, right? Because
Yeah.
We had a client that didn't understand working drawings,
Yep.
2D renderings, 3D models, and VR. He put the headset on, and all the decisions were made.
Luckily, that was the CEO's buddy that was doing a project with him. So when he saw that get done and get decided, that was our impetus, right? That was one of our major milestones that we had there. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
fantastic.
it was
I assume we're talking about the same situations. But,
probably-
Yeah.
probably-
so getting design decisions done, right? Getting that design sold is difficult for people, and
And sometimes you need to bring everything, right? And now AI is included in that.
Yeah.
Right, and whatever facet that it needs to be in, so. But like you said, I mean, it's definitely a tool, to
This is good, like,
push it forward, right? Yeah.
this is good. This reminded me, like, on the Exxon project, back when I was at Gensler, we were working with a civil engineer, and every time they sent their civil files over, it would be in the wrong place because they
Mhm.
shared coordinates and everything, and they didn't know how to do it. And so I ended up having to write a list file for them. Say, hey, use this, run this before you guys send us your file.
Mhm.
And so then it would format everything correctly, put everything in the right location, and use our shared coordinate, and then we would just link it in without having to open AutoCAD. Yeah, but if we had this, it would have been better.
So I changed it to squares, right? So what you'll see is, here's the command for AutoCAD for draw a square. If you didn't know it, there is one. If you don't want it to be lines, I guess you can tell it to explode it afterward, right? So I think this is just a simple interaction to get going and interfacing with code and just kind of like seeing what it does. What are you going to draw? Do something really simple. Draw a line from this to this, right? See if you can make it do more complicated things as you step through. And so the other one I was trying to do earlier that I wanted to do for this class was to have me draw a square, right? And it cut everything else around in my plan except for what's in the square. Basically a fencing thing. So use my first one, explodes and just tears the file up, right? Gives it just lines, and then do a crop rectangle with a fence, right? But just do it right outside of where I draw my rectangle. It's pretty easy, right? But it just couldn't, it had some errors, and I said, okay, let me change the code. It iterated the code like 5 or 6 times, and I just kind of ran out of my time budget for playing with that. Then on Friday, I have a little budget on Friday where I just iterate and try to do things. Catherine does too, and we try to innovate.
I clean the.
Hour, 2 hours for innovation, for pushing things forward, right? Can I do a render like this? I've got a list like that long of little innovations that I'd like to get to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will Google.
Yeah, and where I got this from, if you don't know, I went to John Pearson. Do you know John Pearson? He writes Dynamo scripts. Like I'd call him the grandfather of Dynamo, but he didn't invent it, but he's like
Just
active
joined
out there.
Autodesk. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, he's.
Wow, I'm sorry.
He's the best.
I will press him down a little bit. So,
Yeah.
because they did with our civil engineer friend that we met that one time.
I guess they threw enough money at him to.
Go for it, man.
Little man, yeah,
He can give it a shot, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, great guy, really good. If you ever walk up to him at AU or whatever, I love his. I got to see his presentation for the first time a couple years ago when we went. Funny guy, right? Just like different humor. Really good presentation. But basically, I asked him, how do you develop in your firm and do, because he did architecture stuff other parts of the day, right? How do you do that and also push out your Dynamo stuff or work on your other stuff? He goes, they have a set amount of hours every week that they're allowed to develop and push the firm forward, right? Which also pushes him forward, which also pushes all these other little wheels that go forward, right? And that's the firm culture thing, right? That's something that otherwise you build it to a project, right? Hey, I got to blow this CAD file up. Might as well write a script for it. Just going to do it. I'm going to spend an extra 30 minutes on it, but build it to the timesheet that way.
Does everyone here have that capability?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we have to encourage it, right? Because young people don't understand that, right? If development, what we try to tell them sometimes is like, what the culture we have here sometimes, if this is your first firm you work for, you don't understand how it's different maybe than something else. Why did we set it up this way? Why do we do things a certain way?
You have like 30 people or something.
We have 22, yeah, somewhere around 20.
The 22 times like 2 hours, that's like 40.
Yeah, most of them don't do it though.
Yeah.
Still like 40 hours,
Yeah.
the billable rate of, 150, 200 bucks an hour, something like that.
Yes.
That's
150.
a big investment for the company.
So we also have a big push on business development. Go to meetings, go to conferences. What do you want to go to? Go to it,
Yeah.
be involved, right? And you see how many people are here.
Yeah.
Right? Omar, our AI, trender, young grad out of U of H, he was here until his mom called him or something. He was staying up until right before that got here. Yeah. So he would have stayed and he would have really enjoyed it. But yeah, that learning culture.
It's important.
Yeah, and having that time or sneaking it in, right? Because if you can put it in billable time, put it in billable time, right? But again, running a business, that knows, and getting it done versus moving the ball forward a little bit. You need to have a little of both, right? You got to have it in there.
Yeah,
And Christian and I did that all the time.
Like lunch and learns, like present lunch and learns. pick up
Absolutely.
lunch, Present lunch. But
Doing is different than teaching.
I know like people were starting to get sick on the days that they were supposed to present.
Oh.
Yeah.
Christian never did that to me. Thank you. So, but what
Never said.
what I tried to do too is have different people present, because Catherine and I can present all day.
Yeah.
Present? Yeah, I'll present. I got work sharing, right? I can do something on work sharing, or I can do something on how to do this tool, or how to do something I did this week, right? I got a little, even a shorter laundry list of this stuff I need to teach the firm, right? And that she does every day. I was like, oh, that was cool, Catherine. How'd you do that? You got to teach that, because that was like little PowerPoint things and little rendering stuff she does that she takes it for granted. The experience that she has, and a lot of innovators do. They take that for granted, and so to get them up front, maybe not your uncomfort zone, but a lot of people that is their uncomfort zone, to stand in front of a crowd and be looked at, and whatever goes through your head.
You're off topic, Craig.
This is on topic. Let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Yeah, back to the PowerPoint.
Do you want me to
dude.
change and draw the squares? I don't know. Okay. Let's reload. You gotta reload because we don't have the reload command. Otherwise you type load and it would just load the command back. But go to app load again. This repetition is good. Reload our things right here for us.
We
Thank
changed it
you,
to
Windows.
DSQ, right?
Yeah, I did. Thank you very
Did
much.
you see the timeline?
Draw
Yes.
squares. Whatever that means.
Uh-oh. To the race.
We said 100. You could ask it to input that, right? So it didn't do it.
Check your app.
I didn't save. I didn't save.
Live, Craig.
No, no.
You will make this mistake too, so I'm glad I'm showing it to you.
Over, yes, OTS, over the shoulder syndrome. Everyone's staring at you.
Yeah, no, he's. Got you.
Oh, see,
Interesting.
drew a
It drew-
diamond.
It drew one
I
of
did
them.
not expect
It is
that.
it is a square though.
It's a square.
I guess I told it to draw a square. So, and it's probably 100. So,
But it didn't draw 3 squares.
well, I didn't say concentric, so I just changed it to draw a square.
Uh-huh.
So it didn't iterate on the same thing. I should have said from the last script, draw circles instead of squares, and it probably would have done it. Do you want to see it? Do you have time? I don't know.
No, okay.
Let's just go. Play with it, right? That's the whole thing about this class is get into it, just see what you can do, see what kind of things you can have it
I think
break.
did say rewrite to draw a square.
You did say rewrite, I think.
Okay, well, you gotta check AI, right? We all know that.
Oh, yes, it's draw the second square and then. Technically,
Yeah.
draw the third square.
Okay, let's do this. Let's just say it didn't work, and tell it what it did. Let's just see what AI says. Wait a second.
This is the training part.
Yeah, the
It's broken. Fix it.
It only drew one square. I wanted 3.
Drew.
It's like me trying to get
Mhm.
ChatGPT to do a countdown list. So I told it to do a list of the top 10 things, but start with 10 and go 10. 9, and it couldn't do it. It took it 3 or 4 times to generate a list that counts downwards. And I had to tell it, start with 10.
I don't know if you can put explicitives in there and it responds better
Like,
under duress.
I mean, you say that, but like I've cursed out Siri enough times that she'll stop answering you.
Really?
There's an AI thing on Siri coming up pretty soon. So I saw that announced the other day. Matt Wolf told me that. Sorry. If you want to go to YouTube bloggers. They did announce what it was, but it's like something in Siri. Okay, well now it's gonna not be as annoying. It's actually gonna do stuff for me. Okay, great.
Yes, on my phone, I have, it summarizes my emails.
Sorry.
Um,
Oh, you have the new iPhone that has the super duper.
yeah.
It just upgraded to like 18 point something.
18.7.
You want copy your community.
I didn't like it. Did you change yours back?
I'm like, I'm gonna miss an email. My email, no, I have not.
DCS.
But it has like little smart icons in front of all your emails now that I'm figured out exactly. They're color coded and little like houses and supposed to do your shopping and your.
Yes.
Read it all for you.
So I went to a seminar last week and it said we do travel planning for it. Have anybody tried that? Like,
I've seen it.
hey,
done.
plan a trip to Europe,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah, I've done it.
Do
Yeah.
My dad did a big road trip and he said, here's 8 places I want to go. Plan me a cross country road trip. And it said, here you go. Here's a route. Here's hotels. Here's places to go. It was very cool.
try it on your next road trip to Austin. I don't know. See if it gives you some interesting historical thing that you didn't know about, right? To make your trip a little more exciting. I don't know.
I'm gonna go to Japan.
Ooh, yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's my
Thanks for
second.
user
oh,
meetings in Japan.
Are you paying for my flight?
whoa.
BYO.
BYO flight.
Bring your own BYOF.
Wait, where'd the pilot go? She can fly us.
Wait,
Same
pilot in here?
I'm gonna have to refuel.
DCS?
Anytime.
Yep, that's you changed it too.
All right, 100. Oh, very cool. Getting creative. Getting creative. This is kind of what I was getting with the star. It would do some stuff but it's not trained on AutoCAD, right?